What is one thing, you would leave to the inspired individual right now?
That's a great question. For me, the biggest investment I ever did was in myself. Second was into my people. Any books, any seminars. For me, it wasn't a question. Like, I was always there. Other people would have a mindset, I can't afford to buy that. I said, I can't afford not to be there. I can't afford, that's my mindset. I've invested into my thinking and having an attitude of gratitude. I'm so grateful I didn't get success right away because I would have been an arrogant punk.
Yeah.
Dude, I got humbled so bad that I know where my blessings come from. Yes, I'm great at business. Yes, I'm a great motivator. I'm a great coach, but I'm nothing without God. Nothing without my wife, nothing without my team. You take that away from me, I ain't nobody, dude. With God on my side, with my family on my side, with my mindset, I'm unstoppable. And so are you. But who are you hanging around with? Every single book on how to become successful in any business you want has already been written. There's just not enough readers. The secret is you gotta work your You gotta pay attention to the little things because they compound to be so darn big, and I didn't leave it to chance. I don't know how to change this light. YouTube.
Being resourceful.
Being resourceful. Yeah. People are like, oh, I don't have resources. BS, you're not resourceful enough.
Yeah, that's true.
It's how you look at things. It is so darn important. Every time I wanted to throw in the towel and quit, bro, I thought about them. What if my mom dies of a freaking heart attack, or my dad because of so much stress? When it got tough, when I got no's, I threw in the towel.
Yeah.
People forget their purpose, and they just gotta be like, damn, like he's going through that too, he went through that too. The same you is not gonna get it done. You gotta do some changes right now.
I don't think that we're really here on this planet to just work. Maybe we're working in a field that we really enjoy.
Yeah.
But do we really want to constantly trade hours for money? I feel like we're here to have a profound experience, to meet other people, encourage other people, encourage ourselves, do well. And there is nothing wrong with earning well and living well, but you don't necessarily have to do it by grinding yourself.
Yeah, I like that.
There are many other ways. It may take different amounts of time for different people. And it depends on which industry, if you're involved in a specific field. Mm-hmm. So if you're selling software with a monthly subscription and you're scaling that, you might make a lot compared to somebody who opens a furniture store. Yeah. But it just depends. What do you really, really love doing? Right. And are you chasing money or are you chasing happiness?
How you doing?
Hey, what's up, brother?
I'm SnewJ.
SnewJ, I'm Josh.
Nice to meet you. We see your X6, beautiful car. You're a Malibu local. What do you do for work?
Well, I'm actually an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Yeah, so what I do is I'm all about philanthropy through capitalism. So I believe in solving problems profitably.
Okay.
So I look at like huge issues that activists are up against as far as, major corporations and the problems that they're creating in the world.
Yeah.
And then I create businesses out of providing solutions around those issues.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's like the waste streams that a lot of these big companies produce. So I monetize waste streams and then I basically close the loop. So it's holistic and it makes a huge environmental impact.
I love that.
Yeah, and you can do really well as far as capitalism standpoint.
What's the name of the company, if you don't mind?
My company?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I have a couple companies.
Yeah, well, name a couple of them so people can look them up. Yeah.
No, one of my companies, Malia Ventures.
Okay.
My daughter's name is Malia. So
Malia Ventures.
Yeah, it's like a venture capital firm. So it's all about intellectual property.
Okay.
And about solving problems.
How much do you make together with all your companies per year? Multi-millions?
Oh yeah, definitely the multi-million.
Yeah.
Like if you make $100 million a year in this industry, you're considered pretty small.
Yeah.
So if there's anything I can share with you, there's 4 things you want to look at. Number 1, whatever you focus on, is there some sort of intellectual property that separates you from everybody else?
Okay.
The second thing is that you're more resource efficient, because it's always about doing more with less.
Yeah.
And the third thing is, can you demonstrate that you have the capability to do that? And then the fourth thing is, do you have a paying customer, someone that's like saying, hey, I'm realizing this benefit.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be an engineer, but if it passes those 4 things, then you can actually invest in entrepreneurs and build capacity.
I like that.
And enable them to actually go out and make a difference in the world.
This is your helicopter, huh?
Yes, sir.
How you doing? I'm Sam.
I'm Glenn.
Nice to meet you. Glenn, how much does this helicopter cost?
This one is worth about maybe 1.7 million.
1.7 million.
Yeah.
That comes to my next question. What do you do for work?
I'm a freeway contractor, do emergency work, general engineering, construction, do a lot of paving and concrete.
Wow,
a lot of very dedicated clients in the private sector.
Okay.
So we're kind of diversified in general engineering construction.
You do a lot then, huh? How much can one make per year doing all those things together?
I think the sky is the limit on how hard you're willing to work.
Multi-millions, you'd say?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so he's making multi-millions. Now, to get to your level, do you have any like practical steps?
I don't think there's an exact science to it. It's just being willing to work.
Okay.
I started working when I was 5, sorting out nails on a job site, putting them in the bins. Because the framers, when they're pounding nails, they're dropping nails.
Yeah.
And when I was younger, you know, that was 50 years ago about, they weren't using nailers. So I started picking up nails, started sweeping floors. I worked in kitchens, mopped floors and washed dishes growing up.
Wow.
And then just into construction.
So got into construction after that?
Got into construction, always loved construction. And then customer service, being reliable. There's so much unreliability these days, just in general. So when someone is reliable, work hard, people see that.
100%, yeah.
And people appreciate it. Burned so many times, and when they find someone that is honest and straightforward and easy to do business with, they want to do business with you again.
I like that.
I make 7 figures.
7 figures. No, that's really good.
Yeah.
Can you kind of talk about like the steps you took to get to that point of your life?
I went to school for finance.
Okay.
I couldn't get a degree because I was too busy with work obligations. I had to drop out of school.
Right.
I had a buddy of mine that said, I think you'd be good at this, come sell roofs.
Okay. And how old were you at this time?
This was 5 years ago, bro.
Oh.
I was 35 years old, serving tables with 3 kids.
Okay, wow.
Serving tables in a restaurant.
That's inspiring, yeah.
For me, it was about not letting go and not giving up.
Yeah.
And keep pushing.
Yeah.
I think in life, if you do the reps, if you work on yourself and keep a positive mindset long enough, something will pop. And you got to be together enough in your head to be able to recognize an opportunity when it's staring you in the face.
That's true,
and then walk through that door and run after it.
So the two of us were both in recovery. We were very brand new sober. We had nothing. Jeff, when he didn't have a license and was riding the public bus, and I didn't have a license and didn't have a car. We have literally built our life from nothing.
Wow.
And now we're like the real deal.
No, you guys are the real deal, yeah.
I also have a restaurant that I've registered. I've registered I've registered over 10
real
businesses.
Entrepreneur, yeah.
10 businesses in California. I have business in Minneapolis. I have business in Texas.
Okay.
And then I have business in New York as well.
Okay.
What I've done is see the vision and start doing them.
And execute the plan. Yeah.
In Calabasas and All Valley.
I like
you can
that.
eat Nigerian food from African Caribbean, which is part of my restaurant.
How much would you say you make per year from everything that you're doing?
I would say for my restaurant, I would target at 1.7
1.7 million per year.
I have lived a life where everything that has happened to me, everything that has been a part of the story.
Yeah.
I was being prepared. See, I came from Nigeria at the age of 15. So I moved into this system where I was already in university, that's college, in Nigeria. Coming here to go back to high school, and kind of learning to graduate in high school and then going back to college again to re-educate myself. Then to working I worked for Wells Fargo. My first job was actually McDonald's.
Okay, McDonald's.
So I worked at McDonald's. I was actually selling a lot of burgers.
Right.
And you know how the system works.
Yeah.
And then I decided I wanted to. Then my next job was working at Dollar Tree.
Okay, Dollar Tree.
My vision was so big that I kept on moving from jobs to jobs.
Yeah.
People would hire me, but they didn't. They hired me, but they didn't understand that I was looking into these jobs as more of a vision that I have.
Yeah.
So I was just climbing up without even me knowing it, but that was what I was doing.
Yeah, definition of an entrepreneur that's just doing it, going from city to city, following the vision. My man, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate all those wise words. I'm sure you're gonna inspire a lot of people watching right now that need it. So thank you so much, man.
Yes, everybody. Thank you so much.
How much does 10 Jersey Mikes make you in profit per year?
I don't really want to say, but a comfortable living, how's that?
Would you say a couple over $1 million for sure, right?
Yeah,
over $1 million. Do you recommend like people should look into franchising or?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like college wasn't really my thing.
Okay.
Little ADD, no H. I was never hyper, but the ability to pay attention was not my thing. So the restaurant business works really well for people like me. It starts on a Monday, ends on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Restarts on a Monday, ends on a Sunday. So
I like
you don't have
that.
to have a long attention span.
Yeah.
And usually everything's right in front of you. One customer, one sub at a time.
Yeah.
And a lot of interaction like that.
Is there a certain amount of money that you need for like your first Jersey Mike's? Like, did you have money saved and you just like, or did you just get like a loan, or how was your
combination of all of those things? Because I was in my 40s
when you got your first one.
Yeah. So we had some money, and then we owned a house, and so the goal is, if like when I was younger, I had friends that were very focused. They drove old cars, they saved every dime that they could, and their goal at that time is if you could get $30,000 in the bank, you could find somebody that would loan you money.
Gotcha.
We did all kinds of stuff. We borrowed money from friends and family and different things, and we're respectful to everybody and paid
100%.
people on time, and then later on, then when you get the background, then banks, like right now, every bank wants to loan a Jersey Mike's money because we're a solid brand.
I like that.
When we started, we were very small. There's like 600 stores. Now
Oh wow.
Like 2,300.
What was the number, if you don't mind me asking, to get started in one?
When we first started 10 years ago, you could build one for in the mid 300,000.
300,000. Okay.
So if you borrowed that money, then the store pays for it. So
right.
To,
okay.
And then so hopefully if it does really well, then you can buy another and another and stuff.
That's amazing. How does one get into that and make that kind of money?
Well, you do. It's all about context. You have to do a lot of networking, a lot of seminars, a lot of conferences, and you have to side hustle at the beginning.
I see.
A lot of side hustling at the beginning. That's really important, because otherwise you end up feeling very desperate when you're first starting out. What I would recommend, if you're starting out and that's what you want to do, and any just as an entrepreneur, for me, being a woman, being Latina, it was a lot harder. There is no trust fund. There's no seed money. Yeah. So I had to go out and hustle it.
You did it on your own.
I did it on my own. Yeah. So just going out and meeting clients and cocktail parties, and a lot of times just coming home with nothing.
Okay.
And you meet one person, and from what that person, you just keep it going.
And that's like the connection to get to what you're doing.
Yeah, and sometimes
I like that.
There was a job that I did maybe 20 years ago where I met like 5 different people, and those 5 people are still my clients.
Oh wow,
so
there you go.
That's the importance of staying connected and staying with your contacts.
What's your biggest tip on making $1 million?
Well, if you're not having success in any type of area, you have to change your mindset. Your mindset is how you guide yourself through everything in life.
Yeah.
So it's all mindset based. If you currently don't have $1,000 or $10,000 or $1 million, it's only because you don't know what it takes for you to think the way that someone who has $1 million thinks. Yep. So you have to change your mindset.
I love that.
The best way to do that is get around people who have already made the money or have already got whatever it is you want. It's not just money, it's everything in life.
Yeah.
So if you want to have a good, healthy relationship with a spouse, you need to be around people who have good, healthy relationships with their spouses.
I like that.
If you want to have a successful business, hang out with people who have successful businesses, and even more so, if you can, get around specifically the industry that you want to be in.
100%.
Everything's mindset.
I love that.
I learned
Mindset's
everything
key.
in my 20s through having a few mentors and changing my mindset around money.
So you would suggest finding some mentors?
Yeah, or reading books or watching or listening to audiobooks. There's so much already out there. Like a great person to listen to is like Bob Proctor.
Okay.
Things like T. Harv Ekker's Millionaire Mind Training.
Okay.
That's all around changing your mindset.
I'm gonna put that on the list for sure.
Anthony Robbins, those guys are all really good at understanding the psychology that it takes to change how you think.
What do you do for work?
I do financial planning, actually.
How much can one make doing that per year? Or how much do you make doing that per year?
500,000 to $1 million. I'm independent, so when you're independent, I have my own company. So when you have your own company, the sky's the limit. When you work for and you're captive for certain companies, sometimes there are stipulations in place and caps, but when you have your own company, it's just as many people and as hard as you work.
What are some of the steps I need to take? Do I have to get a degree, or
no,
what do
the beauty of my career, you do not actually. So people do like to see that you do have a career, a degree.
Yeah.
So perhaps like business or finance or an MBA and that sort. but you could simply get your Series 65, your Series 67, your Life or Health license, anything of that nature.
Okay.
So just a certification to
So
be in
cert,
that industry.
okay.
I personally have been mentored by really, really successful people in the industry, too specific. So getting a mentor in the industry for that is untouched.
Okay.
For me, it will benefit you more than school, in my opinion.
You're young, making $250K per week.
2 months ago.
Yeah, so now you're making more.
We're making more now.
What is the first step of making $250,000 per week? Like,
I will literally give you the blueprint in the next 60 seconds. Here it is. You're gonna run marketing. You need good marketing. Okay, so you gotta have a good media buyer. Media buyer means someone who runs Facebook ads, YouTube ads, whatever. You have a good media buyer, good marketer. Leads come into a funnel, all right? On that funnel, right? So they see an ad on Facebook. On that funnel, you have a video. The video, you explain how you're gonna solve their problem, whatever their problem is, or how you're gonna sell whatever it is you're selling. You're gonna explain why it's good. And you're gonna invite them to book a call with you or your team. Then they fill out an application and they book a call. Some people just fill out an application, some people fill out an application and book a call. Then you have something called setters. Setters will then call the people who booked the call, or they call the people who didn't book a call, and they'll get them to book a call. And when they call the people who booked or didn't book, they're gonna send them some videos of you. So the people get to know you. They don't know anything about you, they're gonna get to know you. You get to know more about your product, they're gonna get to know about your reputation, because if they're gonna be spending $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 with you, they need to know a little bit about you. Right? So then you'll confirm the call. Then you have the sales team hop on the next call with them, and then the sales team closes them for $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. And if you do even one sale a day, you make $1 million a month. So you're making $250,000 a week if you only have one sale a day. If you have 15, 20 calls a day, and you only close one of them, you're making at least $1 million a month. Now, you might be like, well, who's gonna pay that? I promise you, there are plenty of people out there who will pay that. As a matter of fact, you might have bought a car that's $30,000. You might have bought a house that's millions of dollars. You don't put it in perspective, but people are interested in buying things that they think will help them. And if you're gonna solve their problem and you know their problem better than anyone else, they will trust you and be like, here, I'm gonna pay you and you better help. Obviously, reputation is important. If I didn't have a good reputation, people wouldn't pay me.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be able to scale, right? But my reputation is amazing because of the fact that I really do care and I really do help people out. So,
do you ever get burnt out, or?
Yeah, I mean, it's sometimes, especially as you get older, it gets a little tiring. But again, it's the same thing I said earlier. You've got to be focused on something that you love. Because I don't think you get the motivation if you're selling shoes. You would selling cars for me, right? I know cars, I love cars, you know, and it's just like, the car world's so fun because there's such great people in it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, there's an unbelievable amount of different types of cars and people.
What is one thing you would leave to the inspired individual right now?
I think I'm still an old school guy, so it's just old school, hard work, keeping your head down, organizing, discipline. In this day and age that we live, people get caught up in too much of the social media and, oh, I'm not as good as this guy or girl, and kind of fantasy world. You've got to live in reality, and you don't need to impress people all the time. Work hard, keep your head down, and you do a good job with whatever it is you're doing, and success comes naturally. You don't need to throw your name out there. You don't need to throw it in people's faces. Like, you build something like this, you work hard for years, and you don't need to throw it in their face that you did this, right? It comes naturally.
No one's higher, no one's lower. You treat everybody the same.
The same, yep.
I love that.
Be doing close to probably, $2 million this year.
If I wanted to, get to your position, I wanted to own something like this, is there certain people I have to have a network of? Like, how do I get to that position?
It's kind of a combination of all of the above, It's, you don't want to go to the lens crafters of the world. It's like, if you want to get into the hotel industry, you're not going to go work at, Motel 6. You're going to go work at the top hotels in the country. If you want to be in the restaurant business, you're going to go work at the best restaurants, right? So
it's good advice.
Same thing with, if you want to get into the real eyewear world, you find a luxury eyewear purveyor like us, not like a Lens Crafters, not like a, Warby Parker, and then you find the people that have been doing this for a long time, and that's basically what I did.
When do you ever take a break from all this? Is this just like...
When I was in Texas, it was really hard because like my only real breaks were going to the gym or going out to eat at night.
Yeah.
Coming to LA, one of the things I love the most about it is how much there is to do and how more inviting. Like now, I'll make it a point to, I actually have to put it on my schedule. It literally says, go have fun.
Yeah.
And I'll pick something like, just go to the beach. Or at this time, take your car out and just go for a drive.
Yeah.
Take your bike out, go for a drive. Go try a new restaurant, something like that.
That's
but it's
true, yeah.
That is the hardest thing is just like having fun. But it's the most invigorating when I turn my work phone off and I just take a day on the rare occasion I do.
Yeah.
To just have some me time.
Yeah.
It resets it because then the way we're wired, boom, I'm ready to get back the next day, and I hit it twice as hard.
Yeah, that's how it is.
So
it's very,
you gotta have fun though.
Yeah, it's very important to have your me time, because you gotta get in touch with like your mental, your spiritual, your physical, and all that. But it's good that you pointed that out, because a lot of people feel like it's just go every time. But
dude, you'll burn out. I've burned out several times. It gets to a point where you're going 2-3 weeks, haven't looked up, and you're just like, damn, I hate this.
Yeah. Hey, we just want to know, what do you do for work?
I'm an entrepreneur. I own my own company.
Okay. What kind of company is it?
I have a sales and marketing company.
Okay. How long you been doing that for?
35 years.
35 years.
And
you look young, bro. You look like you're 35.
Yeah, man. That's when you're living good, right?
Yeah.
But I maintain an SSOM. That's a superior state of mind.
Okay.
So when you have a superior state of mind, it's like, it's a third way approach.
Okay.
Somebody might see the jug half empty. Somebody might see the jug half full. The third way approach is cut the top off.
Okay.
And you get a full jug.
I like that.
So every problem, every solution, every challenge, you always look at it 3-pronged. That got me a long way, got me far.
How much would you say you generate annually from what you do?
50 million.
50 million? Bruh. I'm inspired. That's what's up, man. Any tips? Any tips you want to give on how you got started?
I bootstrapped my way to $1 million, man.
Okay.
I started off being a true student of the profession, right?
Okay.
So a lot of people say work smart, not hard.
Right, 100%.
But if you work real hard, that is smart.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You have to have the work ethic. Success, 99% is just showing up. I remember my first $1 million in 1997 and lost it in 98.
Oh, wow.
And I did it 5 times.
Wow. So you had to kind of reinvent yourself.
So no, what I had to do was learn. When a man with experience meets a man with money, you know what happens?
What?
The man with the experience ends up with the money, the man with some money ends up with the experience. Nobody taught me how to make $1 million, but once you learn how to make $1 million, you can always do it. What they don't teach you is how to keep it.
That is true.
And so you always know how to make it. The hardest thing is learning how to keep it. Because once you make it, you become a vault.
Yeah.
And everybody's trying to get in your bank.
How much does this cost?
Well, it's expensive.
Like what? If I wanted to buy this from you right now, how much would you sell?
Any turbine helicopters are going to be probably, of this caliber, are going to be $1 million or greater.
$1 million or more. Wow. What do you do for work?
I'm in private equity.
Private equity. Okay.
Private equity. You look like you're not sure what that is.
I'm curious, just like everybody else. You
private
help people
equity
with
is capitalizing businesses, and most in a lot of cases, but not always, they're startup companies.
Okay.
And so I provide capital to a startup company. We build the company together, and then we exit out of the company, or we grow it to become a sustainable business.
How long you been doing that for?
Many years.
Let's say I'm starting in ground zero and I want to get into private equity. Do I have to go to college for that, or?
Well, you have to have a pretty strong grasp of business and finance, but it's not one of those things that is easily learned, and it does take being in the right place at the right time, having right mentors, people that you can look up to, people that you can work with, and it's a lot about connections, and again, being in the right place at the right time. My very first project, my largest project in that space, was Yard House Restaurants.
Oh, okay, wow. Yeah, Yard House,
When Yard House was started in the late 90s.
So you're a part of the start?
In the beginning.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
I invested in Yard House. The owners of Yard House, were brilliant in their development of the company and where they took it.
Yeah.
And with guys like myself and other investors, we helped grow the company to where it eventually became what it is today.
That's amazing.
There were steps along the way where we exited out.
Yeah.
Larger companies came in. It's now owned by Darden Restaurants, which is a publicly traded company.
Yeah.
So
that's amazing. Do you own this private equity firm, or?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. In order to own one of those, you have to work for one first, I'm assuming,
or
how did?
It depends on the origin of where you start your business from. It could be, you could be working for any number of people. You could be working for mothers. Okay. And mothers could have a big client, and that likes who you are.
Yeah.
And says, hey, come under my wing. I want to show you the ropes so that you can start your own business or start your own company. Private equity, really, you have to have had some success to build up capital. Okay. With which to reinvest the capital.
Got you.
Okay, so, but in terms of starting a business, it's who you associate yourself with.
Okay.
And
finding that right mentor. I've had a couple of mentors in my life when I was younger.
Yeah.
That were literally when I was in my early 20s, mid 20s.
Yeah.
One of my closest friends, he was 50 years old and he owned a company that was very successful. And we literally spent, most of my 2 or 3 years together as really good friends, and I learned a lot from him. We started a couple of companies together. He helped get me started.
That's amazing.
And, from there, the rest is history.
Yeah. And was he in private equity as well, or
he just owned a couple of very successful companies?
Yeah.
But once you exit out of those companies, you can then decide whether or not you want to start a new company, or you can then take your proceeds from that and divest them into other businesses.
Yeah.
And you kind of, by doing that, maybe you're like, okay, hey, I made a lot of money selling this one company. I want to start another company similar, or I want to go and start a company over here.
Yeah.
You can choose that path.
Yeah.
Or you could take your money and say, hey, I'm going to go invest a little here, a little here, a little here, and I'm going to help these little companies grow.
Yeah.
And build them all up.
I love that.
That's the direction I went.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I'm getting out of all this is like you had mentorship, the mentors that kind of like gave you the shortcuts and like through their own experiences helped you along the way.
It's the mentorship. It's who you associate yourself with. It's, if there are successful people in your life, the one thing you want to do is learn from them.
Yeah.
Become friends with them, get close to them, ask them the questions. Instead of that 2 or 3 hours hanging out at the bar drinking with your buddies, spend that 2 or 3 hours with that other person.
Yeah, because that's knowledge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the more you do that with the more successful people, you pick up tidbits of information from everybody.
I love that.
Information, connections, associations, networking, all of that will get you somewhere. If you're just hanging out with the same group of guys, your same buddies every weekend,
level,
you're not going to go anywhere.
I like that.
You're going to be a big fish in this little pond.
Yeah, no, I feel that. That's true. For the private equity space, how much can one usually make?
Depends. You have to have capital with which to deploy.
Yeah.
That's what they call it. And you really have to be in the right place, right time, or have a fortuitous event. I have a friend that didn't have much money at all, but he invested early into crypto.
Yeah.
So that went 1,000 times. Now he's a multi-millionaire.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that didn't really take association or network or anything. That was being in the right place at the right time, being lucky. Yard House restaurants was another one.
Yeah.
Restaurants are very risky.
Yeah.
But I used to patronize it and I go, this is a great concept. I love the concept. It's always busy Friday, Saturday night, but you can't get in there. 2-hour wait in Long Beach, this, that. So the opportunity came. I felt like it was a very safe opportunity that could really
100%. Yeah.
For every one successful Yard House restaurant, there's 1,000 that fail or 10,000 that fail.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's one of those things that it's not all about staying in school or how smart you are.
Yeah.
It's being in the right place at the right time, having the right associations, meeting the right people, and that network, because it's a combination of all of that.
Gotcha.
I hate it when people say, "Oh, what's your suggestion for meeting?"
Work hard, and
some guy says, "Oh, well, stay in school."
Yeah.
Well, yeah, school is important.
Yeah.
But only to a certain point.
It's a tool.
Yes, it's a tool. You have to have a rudimentary understanding of finances and the way the world works business-wise.
Yeah.
And the rest of it is really, I think people genetically also. I mean, some people have it in their they're always thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
Always looking at something, trying to figure out how to make it better.
Yeah.
And improve on it.
Yeah.
And that you can't learn.
I love that.
I have classmates of mine from school that blew me away GPA wise.
Yeah, but
they're
when it
still,
comes to real life,
they're still making $200,000 a year. Being an accountant. Somewhere, right?
Damn,
and they're smart and they're really great at accounting, but that's their limit. That's their ceiling.
You tell me I'm something you need, but baby, you know that I'm bad for you. Yeah, why you gotta be so naive? If I treat you like one I don't want, and you know I'm just so hard to please. I lie to your face to get what I want, babe. Somehow you keep on